Hey guys, the Cactuar Gamer here, coming at you with a nice refurbished headset and doing this via the SHAREfactory on the PlayStation 4. I apologize if the sound quality from my voice isn't that good, but you gotta deal with it since I'm not exactly rich and I don't I don't have the good stuff yet. But someday, I will. I keep telling you that. It's gonna happen. And today is the day I talk about the Game Awards of 2017. Oh, yeah, baby. So excited. What is the Game Awards, you might be asking? Well, it's kind of like E3. Basically, some people get up there, they give some appreciation for the video game stuff. They make cringe-worthy jokes, and it makes you want to, stab yourself a little bit. Also, yeah, that's actually, what am I saying? There might be a surprise, too, for video games, but that's basically it. Very exciting stuff. And it starts tomorrow on Thursday, December 7th, which also is, by the way, Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, so make sure you remember that Pearl Harbor. All you history majors out there, you're welcome. I did you a solid. If you don't know what December 7th was in history on a specific date, maybe you should have paid more attention to history in your history class, huh? Yeah, you kind of blew that. Pearl Harbor, guys, it happened. It's a thing. Anyways, so yeah, the Game Awards show starts up tomorrow, and I'm super excited. And today I'm going to talk about the Game of the Year nominees. I won't go into all the other ones. I'll just talk about a few video games, go through all that, give my thoughts and feelings about the whole thing, give you even my predictions. And yeah, we'll have a good time, so let's jump in, baby. And the Game of the Year nominees are The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Persona 5, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and the loser of the bunch, Horizon Zero Dawn. What? You don't think that game's gonna lose? It's a great game, don't get me wrong. And if you have a PS4, that's a game you definitely should own. But yeah, this game called Zelda came out shortly after, and it kind of just pushed it under the rug. So all the people there at Horizon Zero Dawn were like, yeah, we made a great game, it's doing so well. And then, yeah, Zelda came out and they kind of went, oh, and their heads bowed and they cried a little. But it's a great game, I love it. It's not going to win, there's just no way. And PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is another interesting contender because the game's not even technically finished yet. Yeah, it's still an alpha or beta or one of those things. It's still super buggy, super glitchy, and the only reason that it's on there, in my opinion, is just because it's super popular. But even the developers of that game stated that they don't feel like it should be on there. And you know what? I agree. And if it wins, I'm not going to be actually very happy. Because unfinished, unpolished games don't belong in the Game of the Year category, okay? I'm sorry. You can put it in some of the other ones. That's fine. But Game of the Year is a little bit ridiculous. So it really, at least to me, boils down to 3 games. Mario, Zelda, and Persona. And Persona 5, I think, is getting the short end of the stick. It's a fun game. Also, I played it on the PS4. Really fun game. If you haven't had a chance to try it, I do recommend it. It's different. Very different. And that's kind of nice. It's a good change of pace for you JRPG fans out there. When you look at Metacritic and what everybody's talking about, it's really down to 2. And that's The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Super Mario Odyssey. Now, this is where it gets interesting for me because I am sort of split on these two. You see, as a critic, I think The Legend of Zelda should win. If I was giving out this award, I would give it to The Legend of Zelda because what that game did, it changed the game industry, okay? I mean, it was mind-blowing. Open world has never been more fresh for me since that game came out now. That set the bar to a whole new level. But, and I'm going to say this right now, if it was my personal choice and I could choose the Game of the Awards based on my own, what game I like the most this year, I think I'd have to give it to Super Mario Odyssey. Now let that sink in. Super Mario Odyssey it revitalized 3D platformer. It's made it relevant again. It's so freaking good. that both of these games deserve the 10 out of 10 and the 97 on Metacritic and all of that stuff. They deserve all the accolades and all the props, respect from everyone that they get. Both of these games are game changers in their own way. And that's something amazing. To get two games that have just received perfect scores from like Edge Magazine, who's only given 21 perfect scores, and they gave 2 of them this year to Nintendo. Nintendo has really done a great job and kind of nailed it this year. So the winner will probably be Zelda, but if Mario gets it, I'm not going to complain one bit. Now, there were some other games I wanted to talk about that didn't make the finals of Game of the Year, but was still part of it, and there was 2 of them, actually. The first one was Cuphead, an indie game that was just amazing. The soundtrack, the gameplay, the difficulty, the feel of it, all of it was just really well done, and I am so happy to see that Cuphead has sold over 1 million plus copies because it's worth it. And if you haven't tried Cuphead, please go do it. All you Xbox people out there, you have a gem on your hands that you really need to go and try. And then the other game is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, which was a nice change of pace because Capcom finally listened to its fans and brought back the horror in the Resident Evil games. Thank you! It's different from all the other ones as well because it's first person, and it's nice. I'm really glad, and I hope Capcom continues this trend of making the Resident Evil games scary again, because that's what us fans, us diehard fans, want from the Resident Evil series. They want to feel goosebumps, people. The goosebumps! Now, one last thing I would like to talk about before I end this video is that 2017 was a fabulous, bootylicious year for the video games. All seriousness though, it was super awesome. I didn't even talk about Wolfenstein 2, Nier Automata, What Remains of Edith Finch, Injustice 2, etc, 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 etc. I mean, wow! We got spoiled rotten this year. And so I'm going to make another video, and it's basically going to just have a compendium of all of these excellent games, and I'm going to talk about each one individually and why you should go out and play it. So you're welcome for that down the road, because I think it's going to be really fun to just take a moment and just appreciate all of the other good games out there, because these games should also be mentioned. And I feel like while the Game Awards show does a great job of celebrating video games and appreciating the games that came out this year, there's so much that they couldn't possibly this time cover it all and give an award out to all of these other games. So many that were just super unique, super fun. Alright guys, and this is actually going to wrap up my video. So let me know what you think the Game of the Year is going to be. What do you want it to be? And what do you give it personally? Maybe you give it to Resident Evil 7, for instance, or Cuphead, or a game that wasn't even nominated on any of the categories. So yeah, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And as always, I am the Cactuar Gamer. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'll see you guys next time, and have a great day. I'm out like a trout.